There was a time when children could buy cigarettes for their parents, when you could arrive at the airport 15 minutes early, and yet catch your flight, and when kids could travel in the back of cars without seatbelts. This may sound absurd to those of us who grew up in a world where the TSA and anti-smoking PSAs were common, but we all have our own habits that are normal today, but would definitely be odd in 100 years. What are the things that we take for granted now that would seem to be incorrect in a century? Here are a few ideas. Drive cars. Nobody will drive vehicles, boats, or more likely something else in the future. Real pilots would become extremely rare. People of the future will look back on the days that we went around crashing our cars into others and call us fools. Each year, 40,000 people in the United States lose their lives in auto crashes. Cars are virtual death vehicles, but we need to get home. We have a lot to do, and many of our jobs actually require a trip that is much too long to bike or run. As a result, we can safely assume that we will still depend on some kind of transportation. However, potential humans are expected to solve the fatality of human error by using technologies similar to a self-driving vehicle. This groundbreaking technology has already been truly tested in the field, with impressive results. So it's not a big leap of logic to expect that this technology will continue to overtake driving in the future, making driving safer. Tanning beds. Imagine it, tanning beds are basically human toasters. We actually cook inside them. As per the Skin Cancer Foundation, excessive UV radiation exposure could cause early skin aging, wrinkles, brown spots, and loose skin, as well as skin cancer. In reality, using a tanning bed for the first time before the age of 35 raises the risk of skin cancer by 75%. Regardless of the fact that the risks of tanning beds are well documented, plenty of us still use them and toast their skin. Probably people of the future will rub on sunscreen and welcome their pallor. Manual labor. We used old-fashioned manpower to build our buildings in the past. Stones were pulled for miles on our weak backs, and beasts of burden also suffered. Slaves were once used on southern plantations to plant and harvest crops under the scorching sun. Tractors, cranes, semi-trucks, and bulldozers are now handle the majority of the job for us. Nevertheless, many modern jobs still need our people to put in long hours of backbreaking work. Lumberjacks, factory employees, and construction workers sweat their way into their days as they struggle to finish their work with the equipment they have. They risk injuring themselves in the process, just for the sake of a paycheck. After all, as our technologies improve and robotics take over more of our physical work, there will come the time when people no longer will need risk their physical health in order to earn money. Our culture will have progressed beyond the risks of work, and robots will most likely take over much, if not all, of the dangerous jobs. Spending hours at a desk. Humans were not designed to sit for long periods of time. Sitting has been named the fourth leading cause of death, even though you stay active outside of work. It reduces the flow of oxygen and blood through your body. Regardless, all of us sit at our desks for 8 hours or more per day, hunched over and tapping on the keyboard while staring at the clock. Since we already understand the dangers of sitting at a desk, culture may shift to help us live healthy and less desk-free lives. It would be fantastic if we could spend the next 100 years developing standing desks, spending so much time outdoors, and dedicating extra hours to walking, running, and moving more in general. War. For a long period of time, it was thought that a nuclear war would put the world to an end. Which hasn't happened, despite the fact that we've had nuclear weapons since 1945. Maybe this shows that humans are better what we'd like to believe. Maybe war isn't necessary. Perhaps it isn't necessary. Perhaps humanity isn't capable of advancing beyond the primitive concept of killing. After all, we will always have disagreements, and the only way to solve monumental disagreements is through fighting, right? However, hopefully one day we will be able to overcome the most difficult of all hurdles. Senseless killing will be a thing of the past. If such a day ever comes, people will look back at the countless days of violence and be ashamed of their ancestors. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. See you soon.